Broadcasting from the basement bunker. Welcome to the fourth hour with Greg Belfrage. I've got some follow ups for you on what we talked about this morning. The president saying it was National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has learned the lesson. Actually, it was somebody in Waltz's office, not actually Mike Waltz, that learned a lesson after the Yemen attack leak glitch. So this is the president this morning. He's standing by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. And again, it isn't Waltz who added the reporter from the Atlantic to this text chain. It was someone else, somebody apparently in Waltz's office who did it, according to other reports I'm seeing. So the president is standing behind Waltz. And in an interview today with NBC News, President Trump says, Michael Waltz has learned a lesson and he's a good man, he said. He went on, I think, then he said that what happened had no impact at all on the outcome of the airstrikes against Yemen. The president described them as pretty successful. So I don't know that there's anything new beyond that. He said the only glitch in 2 months, and it turned out to be not a serious one, the president saying. So there had been speculation then that this is what happened, and that as to who was responsible, this has been a big story this morning. So you've got, again, information out there that Mike Waltz or someone in his office was responsible for that. The president saying he's standing behind Waltz. This still, in my mind at least, leaves some questions about Pete Hegseth. He was saying nobody was texting war plans. That's all I have to say about this. Hegseth said yesterday, yeah, actually, they were texting war plans. We now know who's responsible. The president's admitting it and saying it didn't have any consequence. We're talking about the attacks in Yemen. They were attacks against the Yemen-based Houthis that they were engaged in. So what is there going to be a fallout here for Hegseth? Should there be? That's a problem for me. I think it's going to be a problem for some others as well, because Hegseth saying, nope, nobody was texting war plans. Actually, yeah, you guys were. There's no indication here that what we had seen was not truthful. Now you got the president, owning up to it. Why isn't Hegseth? That's going to be a problem, I think. At least it's a problem for me. I appreciate your comments. So share your comments as to what you think. I appreciate hearing from you. Don't be afraid to share your thoughts. So there's more to the story. There almost always is. And let's go to PJ Media. Here's what the media won't tell you about the Atlantic hit piece. So they're going into overdrive, trying to bring down Trump. Yeah. John Berman over at CNN framed the controversy as a potential legal violation, suggesting that the Trump administration endangered national security. It's Scott Jennings. I love Scott Jennings over at CNN. He is just such a breath of fresh air to CNN, and a breath of reality to the nonsense that they have going on over at that network. And so Jennings said, well, sure, I mean, it's a shocking thing, but, they've admitted that it was a mistake and admitted that it's authentic. So they're owning up to it. The president certainly is. Hegseth, that's another matter. He says, I think they're still, based on what I've heard tonight, trying to figure out how it happened. I'm not sure that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz even knows Goldberg. In fact, I don't believe he knows him, has never met with him. And so then Jennings said regarding the Atlantic's reporting, he said, I did learn a few things in some of my conversations. One is that the Signal program was preloaded. This is the program that they were using, right? The Signal program. He's saying this program was preloaded on a number of devices and agency computers in this circuit when they got there. In other words, who would have done it? The Biden administration. The Biden administration. And PJ Media goes on to say that's an interesting detail. Was this a setup by someone on the inside? In fact, it was Joe Biden who authorized the use of Signal for government communications, according to Senator Tom Cotton. So he's weighing in on this. What's he saying?
Many people in the intelligence community use Signal. They have communication all the time. Is that not correct?
Lawrence, that is correct. In fact, I bet a bunch of those senators that you see at the hearing today are using Signal as well to speak to each other or to speak to their aides. And it is my understanding that the Biden administration authorized Signal as a means of communication that was consistent with presidential record-keeping requirements for its administration.
You're beginning to see the problem here?
Into the Trump administration. It's simply another messaging app like the iMessage app on your iPhone or email servers.
Now, I'm going to stop it there, but Jennings pointed out officials were well aware of security protocols and so on, that they talk about needing to go to high-side computers, which is a classified system. So they clearly knew that there were lines on what you could discuss in the chat. So this is a pretty great story over at PJ Media. I wanted to share that with you. So in regard to all of that, the president being very forthcoming as to what happened and saying that, not going to hold Mike Waltz accountable and that a mistake was made, so on. While we're talking about President Trump, let's go to his True Social account because he's got some interesting things over there this morning. Let's cut down to this. This is the president yesterday. This is, I think, really good news. You've got South Korea-based manufacturing coming to the United States, and these are some of the highlights from yesterday.
Today, we're delighted to report that Hyundai is announcing a major $5.8 billion investment in American manufacturing. The new steel plant in Louisiana is part of an even larger $21 billion investment Hyundai will be making in the United States over the next couple of years.
With your leadership, Mr. President, Hyundai Motor Group is proud to be a stronger partner in America's industrial future. We are really proud to stand with you.
Really proud to stand with you. That's pretty incredible. What happened yesterday. Also, this is, the president shared this, as you can see, about 12 hours ago. And this is TikTok as we talk about the president and fight after the assassination attempt. Take a look at this, about a minute long, and it's well worth
Not
it.
a day goes by I don't think about it.
Trump's longtime assistant shares what happened after the shooting.
I'll never forget him dropping to the ground, shots being fired, him going down, and then him fighting through the Secret Service to get up and not only get his shoe, as you heard on the mic.
Let me get my shoes.
But
Let
he
me
got
get
up
my
and
shoes.
Lifted his fist and yelled, "Fight, fight, fight."
Look
That's
at the
his
look
spirit.
on his
That's the
face.
way that man is behind the scenes. Fight, fight, fight. He's been doing that all his life. Then they brought him in and brought him to the hospital. I picked up his hat because the hat fell to the ground, gave it to him in the hospital. And he's there on the phone wanting to know how you guys are doing, how the family is doing. He cared about the people that were in the room, the Secret Service agents, myself. He's a warrior. And that's who the American people have leading this country.
Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason.
I feel that way.
And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness.
That is such an incredible. I just think that is such an incredible story, and I will also want you to see. I don't know that I'll share all of this. It's just a little under a minute and a half long. President signing more executive orders, and you can hear the explanation now as to what the orders are that he's signing.
Sir, your administration has made it a priority both to end lawfare and the weaponization of government, and also to hold those who have engaged in lawfare accountable. One of the law firms that has been involved in that is called Perkins Coie. That's also a law firm that
left-wing law firm,
unlawful DEI practices. This executive order will suspend.
And I've watched it take place.
This executive order will suspend security clearances and access to certain federal resources for that law firm, and also
I love this
a holistic review of unlawful DEI practices at some of the nation's largest law firms.
This is an absolute honor to sign. What they've done is it's just terrible. It's weaponization. You could say weaponization against a political opponent, and it should never be allowed to happen again.
You have got to wonder I don't want to make too much out of this, and I don't want to overspeak this, but the watching what we see happening right now, man, you are watching American history in the making. I really feel that way. You're watching American history in the making, significant American history, the cuts to the federal government and what's happening, and going after those who have been literally have been tearing our country down, not just over the last 4 years. I think easily over the last 40 years or better and longer. Institutions have been put in place over the course of the last 100 years. You're seeing this guy just take a wrecking ball to all of that. And you got a front row seat. You're watching all of this. One of the things I mentioned on the air this morning is how I just think this is incredible. I saw the cameras yesterday as the president was having this cabinet meeting. So he's got all of his cabinet officials. They're all very closely sitting around this large table, all of his cabinet officials and others who are there. The room really is just kind of packed, and they're talking about all of these things that they're doing. And, yesterday, as I was watching that unfold, I thought, this is absolutely incredible. And we have seen glimpses of this, this kind of stuff before, especially Trump. But in a way now, it's more than we've ever seen before. He is out there in the open. He's signing these executive orders. He's doing it openly. It's being explained what it is that he's signing before he signs it. I think Americans who are paying attention, those of us who are, upright and taking nourishment, and paying attention to what's going on, it's just absolutely remarkable what we're seeing. And I love it. I have just got to say, there are things that I get frustrated by. There's no question about that. But the level of transparency, I've never seen this in my lifetime, what Donald Trump is currently doing. And you've got to wonder if our grandkids are going to wind up talking about this and, pointing at it and saying, yeah, Grandpa and Grandma were alive at this time. Can you imagine this, what Trump was doing? It's just absolutely amazing. This second term of Trump is, I really knew it was going to be different going in. I didn't realize how different it would be and how ready he was. And having had the last 4 years enduring those prosecutions, and what he went through, in planning and to hit the ground running just as soon as he took office It's been absolutely amazing. So, I think the left is struggling every single day, trying to keep up with Trump. It's just absolutely amazing. So I wanted to share some of those things from his True Social account. Let's go to Elon Musk's account also over on Twitter. On X, forgive me. On X, Elon Musk has got some of these are pinned. Some of the things that he's got posted, and he responds just like this to someone else. Trump, Elon is getting things done. This was on Hannity's program last month. I don't know that I'd caught all of this, but it's pretty amazing. And this is what Trump said last month about Elon Musk on Hannity's program.
He's a leader.
Yeah.
He really is. He gets it done. You get a lot of tech people, and you have people that are good with tech, but he gets it done. I said in real estate, you had guys that would draw beautiful renderings of a building, and they'd draw the rendering. It would be great. And you say, great, when are you starting?
Right.
But they were never able to get it built. They couldn't get the financing. They couldn't get the approvals. It would never get done. And then you have other guys that are able to get it done. They could just get it done. I was in real estate. Same thing in this. He gets it done. So when he said that, he said, when you sign these executive orders, a lot of them don't get done, and maybe the most important ones. And he would take that executive order that I'd sign, and he would have those people go to whatever agency it was. When are you doing it? Get it done. Get it done. And some guy that maybe didn't want to do it, all of a sudden he's signing. He just doesn't want to be bothered.
I mean, isn't that absolutely incredible? And I didn't see all that interview. So that I just find absolutely amazing that Elon Musk about getting things done, going over to these agencies and getting it done. And this is what Trump needed. What Trump needed was, somebody to follow. He's setting the way, right? He knows what to do. Trump, I think, has known this instinctively for quite some period of time. So he's saying, okay, I'm signing this executive order. And then you've got Elon Musk through the Department of Government Efficiency going over and saying, what are you doing to get this done? Show us how you're implementing these things that the president has signed. Having people in our federal government with that kind of approach, that's the difference. Because Elon Musk is someone of the private sector, right? And he understands we got to get this done. Elon Musk also, there was another part of an interview that I wanted to share with you. Hold on, now did I look? Here we go. Ted Cruz does a podcast called The Verdict. And Cruz here visits with Elon Musk, and he talks about how they had to outsource manufacturing. If you ever want to see a guy who knows how to get things done, Elon Musk is the guy, and this is a great example.
You're amazing at thinking outside the box, but what's interesting is you may even be better at execution, which is how do you execute so effectively?
Well, I take a physics first principles approach to everything. It's not as though I wanted to in-source manufacturing. It's just that I was unable to outsource it effectively. The idea in the beginning of Tesla was that we would outsource almost all the manufacturing, but then it turned out there were no good companies to outsource manufacturing to. It really wasn't feasible. Outsourced manufacturing actually is the exception, not the rule. And just over time, we had to in-source almost everything for Tesla, and same for SpaceX.
So they had to do it themselves.
Because I had to. There was no choice. At this point, I might know more about manufacturing than any human ever has, because I've manufactured so many different things in so many different arenas. I think probably more than anyone ever has.
You're amazing.
Do you understand how absolutely intelligent this guy is? I mean, I continue to be blown away. He's talking, and he's not being arrogant, and when he says he may know more about manufacturing than anybody else, it's because Look at Tesla. Look at SpaceX. Look at all of these things that they're doing. And he had nobody else could do it, so we had to do it ourselves. By ourselves. We had to undertake it by ourselves. Is that not the American story that you want? I mean, isn't that it? I mean, that is just absolutely wild. I'm blown away. The more I learn about him, and I haven't known a lot about Elon Musk. I knew of him. I think many of us have known of Elon Musk for a long time, but what he's doing and his approach to things, I don't think it's arrogance. I really don't. When he said, I really probably have done more manufacturing than anybody else, I don't think that's arrogance. It doesn't strike me as that, because look at Tesla. Look at SpaceX. Look at all of the things they're doing. That to me is that's the story. And that's the story of American innovation. You want to get these things done and you look out there, well, we want to outsource this. Nobody else can do it. We'll just have to do it ourselves. Wow. And that's what he's done. That is an American success story, if I've ever heard one. The guy is just absolutely incredible. Again, politically, I don't line up with Elon Musk on a number of different things, but I certainly can see and appreciate his ability to get stuff done. Whether it comes to, the president signing executive orders and then Elon Musk going over and saying, what are you doing to comply with the president's order here regarding making these cuts and actually making this kind of stuff happen? I think the thing that's important for you to understand that the left is melting down over this. These are institutions they have been working on for over 100 years, putting in place all of the, all of this stuff. And here comes Donald Trump and Elon Musk with a wrecking ball, just laying waste to so much of this stuff. And it's just absolutely incredible. I think it's amazing, and I wanted to share that with you today. We're going to leave it there. That's a wrap from the bunker today. I want to thank you, my gallery of champions. So hit that like button before you leave. I'm underground and gone.